Hello and welcome to Toys We Collected in the 90s. There is a long history of kids collecting things. Stamps, trading cards, even milk bottle tops that eventually turned into a popular game. But in the 90s, the world seemed to go a little crazy with toy collections. I'm talking about the collection mentality, where you had to have more than just one. The toys of the 90s that we actively set out to collect. To look at what was, we have to look at what came before. So let's start in the 80s with one of the first doll crazes of Cabbage Patch Kid dolls. These dolls sold out at shops. They were expensive, there was a black market for them, and so on. Their whole marketing was around adopting the doll and finding the perfect match for you. So you would generally just have the one Cabbage Patch Kid doll. Even Barbie dolls were mostly all the one character. So while they kept coming out with the newest and latest version, children didn't clamour to have each one of them. I wasn't a huge Barbie doll fan as a kid, but I know my friends in the 80s might have had 5 or 6 Barbies each. Not exactly a collection. What Barbie did well was their play sets. You had to have the dream house, the camper van, the horse, and even the McDonald's drive-through set. Sure. In the 70s and 80s, there were dolls and action figures based on television series. Star Wars was huge, but you saved up for the Millennium Falcon or an all-terrain armoured transport. And while there were collectors of Star Wars toys and Transformers, most kids just had 1 or 2 action figures. This was my favourite, till she got run over by the lawnmower. There were only 10 Care Bears in the original lineup, so it wasn't unheard of to have them all, but usually a kid would just pick their favourite one. One thing I do remember kids in the 80s collecting was My Little Ponies. It wasn't unusual to see a whole shelf of My Little Ponies on display. They were fairly cheap to buy, they looked pretty, and they kept coming out with new variations. Okay. Let's move into the 90s, where we start to take collecting to the extremes. We couldn't have just one rubber glitter bangle, we had to have loads. And we couldn't have just 1 or 2 butterfly clips in our hair, we had hundreds of these things laying around. And you didn't do the 90s hit the Macarena just once. Oh no, you did it 1,000 times over and over and over and over again. And our urge to have a full collection or to own the whole set went wild when it came to toys of the 1990s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hit in 1987 and remained popular throughout most of the 90s. These heroes in a half shell started as a comic book which turned into a cartoon series, movies, and it was so popular that they became the 3rd best-selling toy of its time based off the $1.1 billion generated by the sale of the action figures. In 1990, there was a TMNT movie that became the highest grossing independent film up to that point. The toys, made by the brand Playmates, produced around 400 figures and dozens of playsets between 1988 and 1997. That's around 4 times more than Star Wars toys based off the first 3 original movies. 1989 saw the introduction of Polly Pocket. Made to look like makeup compacts and jewellery boxes, these portable shelves gave the dollhouse experience but on a smaller scale. Each jewel-coloured case held a beautiful tiny little world to play in, with so much detail, moving parts and tiny little dolls to fit. There were even little lockets you could wear, each one holding a tiny world inside. There was another version marketed towards boys called Mighty Max, but it wasn't as popular. There are more than 350 Polly Pocket variations in total, and the advertisements encourage kids to collect all the different sets. Littlest Pet Shop was another popular one to collect, coming out in 1992, with just over 700 variants in the 90s. Now there are over 3,000 figure variants, including limited editions and special releases, which are sought after by collectors. And oh my gosh, just look at how cute these things are. I want them all. The game known as POG, slammers, caps, or bottle caps, became a craze in the 90s. It is a game where each player contributes equal number of round cardboard discs, usually with a print on one side. They are stacked up and then hit with a heavier object called a slammer. Discs that land face up are kept by the player, while discs that landed face down are stacked up for the next player. The player with the most discs at the end wins. There were lots of sets to collect. Coca-Cola and McDonald's got in on these, as well as other sponsors. You always needed more POGs, and if a set came out with your favourite characters, then you just had to have it. Troll dolls were another collection in the 90s. I remember having these little guys as pencil toppers, and lots of kids collected them trying to get every size and every hair colour. It also helped that they were thought to be good luck, so we had them on our desks in the classroom or carried them around with us, hoping some of that good luck would rub off. Beanie Babies. Okay, this is where things start to get really weird. These little stuffed animals hit the stores in the US in 1994 for around $5 each. The original lineup included 9 animals, and they are cute, but word got out that these would go up in value, and suddenly people were not just buying a few of them, but actually seeing it as an investment. People spent hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. There are some stories of families spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, believing that their Beanie Baby collection could put their kids through college or give them an early retirement. Here is what went right for the Beanie Babies. They launched in 1994. We got the World Wide Web in 93. People started to have internet in their homes in 1995, and eBay started in 1995. The creator of the Beanie Babies was one of the first people to have a website to promote a product, and he listed the URL on the toys tags with the line, "Come visit our website." They set to work on new variations of Beanie Babies, did limited runs, so if people wanted them, they had to get them straight away. Collectors could go to the website and see the new variations, and with eBay, they now had a forum to buy and sell. Beanie Babies were the most sold and purchased items on eBay in those first few years. In 1998, eBay became a publicly traded company, and according to one article, when they submitted their risk assessment for the company, they acknowledged their dependence on the Beanie Baby market staying strong for eBay to remain successful. There were some people who made money off Beanie Babies, but for the most part, the obsession was over by 1999, and while there are some rare ones that are still worth money today, most of these stuffed toys are now sold between $1 and $10 each. Toy manufacturers jumped on the idea that their toys could be collectibles. Hot Wheels had been around since 1968, but in the 90s they started numbering their cars, and in 1995 they put their releases into collectible series, and you could send away for rare limited edition bonus cars as well. Pokemon, which was first a Game Boy game, released its collector card game in 1996, and it became wildly successful, supported by an anime TV series. By March of 1998, almost 500 million Pokemon cards had been produced, and there were around 700 Pokemon product variations available, including plush toys, figures, candy, and food items. The internet really did change everything when it came to toys. Kids now wanted collections of toys, not just one or two. It was an ongoing investment. And for many, it was now an investment. These things might be worth something one day. We all do love a little bit of nostalgia from our childhood. And for a while, those toys from the 80s and 90s could fetch big money. Now today, original Polly Pockets can be worth quite a bit. They are still making them, and because the collector urge is strong in me, I want every single one of these. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane of toys that we collected in the 90s. Let me know in the comments what you remember collecting or wish that you'd hung on to from childhood. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you so much for watching.